Greetings YouTubers, Atari Leave here with a retro gaming discussion video. The subject is, are pre-crash games and systems less collectible than they used to be? Now this is something that's been on my mind for a while. It's something that I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 years of collecting, whether it be on forums, here on YouTube, on Kijiji, Craigslist, other such online marketplaces. I'm finding that the pre-crash systems, Atari, Intellivision, ColecoVision, systems of that ilk, are less popular, less collectible than post-crash systems. Specifically, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64. Those three seem to have really become the trifecta of what everybody is looking for. That's what's driving prices upwards. And things like Atari, which I'm a primary collector of, has seemed to drop a little bit. Not a lot, but it's dropped a little bit. And I'll give you an example. Games that used to be considered fairly rare, fairly expensive, and an example I'll have of mine was a game called Bumper Bash, which is considered an R9 game, a little easier to find here in Canada. It's a pinball game. It used to command upwards of $50, $75, maybe even more depending on condition, box, manual, so forth. I picked up one a couple of years ago on eBay for $27 plus shipping, and it had the manual. So prices for certain Atari games I've noticed have come down. Now I don't really follow Intellivision and ColecoVision too much, but I get the feeling those are dropping a little bit. Whereas certain Nintendo games, there are certain Nintendo games that I'm kind of looking for, such as Wrecking Crew and Ice Climber, games that I used to be able to get for $3 or $4, even in the local gaming stores 3-4 years ago, now are commanding $15, maybe even $20 prices just for a loose card. So does all this mean that basically the older systems nobody cares about anymore? Well, no, I don't think that's completely true. I think there's always going to be a collector's market for the older things. But I think there's a couple of reasons why we're seeing this kind of shift. One is pretty obvious. There's younger collectors getting into collecting who grew up with systems such as Nintendo, maybe Genesis, Super Nintendo. They have good jobs now. They have disposable income, and those are the games of their youth. And they're trying to recreate that experience they had as children. So that's what they're playing. That's what they're buying. They didn't necessarily grow up with the Atari or the Intellivision or the ColecoVision or the Vectrix and so forth. So they're not as interested in those. Another reason I think that things like Atari and some of these older systems are not selling as well, and I can speak from personal experience on this one, as a collector, my collection is mostly complete. I would say 98-99% complete, the main part of my collection. There's always going to be one little thing here or there that piques my interest that I'd want to get, but my collection is pretty much complete. Now when I do find Atari games in yard sales or on Kijiji or in game stores, I'm pretty much passing them by. There is nothing out there that intrigues me enough that I'm going to go buy it, or I'm going to spend the money on it because I already have it. I have 18 Atari 2600 systems. I don't need more. They pop up on Kijiji now and then. I talk to a couple other local collectors. They show up. I just don't buy them because I already have them. So there's less people out there who want the systems, and those who do collect them already have them. So there's no need for them to go get them as well. And I mentioned Kijiji and Craigslist. Again, even just 3-4 years ago, where I used to see a lot of pre-crash systems. Again, it's more directed toward your NES, your Super NES, your N64, your Genesis a little bit, and later systems. I've also noticed that with the YouTube channels, either that I've subscribed to or other people who've subscribed to me, when I look at their videos, again, I'm seeing a shift into the newer systems, the post-crash systems, you could say. And a lot of the newer stuff that I personally wasn't involved in. And again, forums. I go to forums like, say, DigitPress. There's a distinct shift on that website, which, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was mostly pre-crash systems. Now it's almost exclusively Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo. So my personal opinion, are they becoming less collectible? To a certain extent, yes and no. But there are reasons why, and I mentioned a couple of them. Collectors have already almost finished their collections, people that like that stuff. And again, younger collectors are looking for the newer stuff that they grew up with. So it's just an interesting little subject that I thought I would bring up, so make a comment, better yet make a video response. Are pre-crash games and systems less collectible than they used to be? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. This is Atari Leaf, and have a great day.